so much for tuning in today. My name is Michaela Julian. I am the Director of Marketing at Netlogic Computer Consulting. And today I am joined by Megan Bransfield of Foundation of MetroWest, which is so very exciting. We are also celebrating 5 years partnered together. And today we are going to hear from Megan a little bit about the Community Foundation for MetroWest and what they do over there, how Netlogic has been able to help them out, and really just anything in between. So Megan, I'll turn it over to you to just give us a little bit of background on who you are and the Community Foundation.
Sure. Thanks, Michaela. So I'm Megan Bransfield. I'm the Director of Operations and Chief of Staff at the Community Foundation for MetroWest. So we're located in Natick, Massachusetts, and we are the community foundation that represents MetroWest. And so that's 30 plus communities. And we basically, as your community foundation, we improve the quality of life by providing financial and educational resources to our local nonprofit organizations. We share essential data about our region, and we partner with donors to help guide and align their giving with areas of greatest need. So we're really partnering. That's how I like to think about what we do. We partner with the nonprofits, we partner with our donors, we partner with local corporations. And so we're just trying to improve our little part of the world.
Awesome. And that is a really wonderful thing. We love talking about people who do work with nonprofits. It's really just a very valuable space to be in. I mean, it's a great position to be in, to be able to give back to the community and, of course, work in that environment. So talking a little bit further about just the introduction period with Netlogic Computer. Megan, we had spoken previously and you mentioned it was kind of a pivotal moment when you guys found Netlogic. Do you want to talk a little bit about that transition during that kind of COVID era? Yeah.
It was COVID. So we had, I've been in my role, or I've been at the foundation, not necessarily in this role, for 8.5 years. And when I got here, we had what I'd call a pretty traditional IT company. Met our needs, but didn't really go any further than meeting our needs, and sometimes didn't meet our needs. And as we were growing, our staff numbers were growing, the sophistication around what we were doing was growing. We realized we needed a new IT partner, and we had found Netlogic and started the process just as COVID hit. And I really consider it a little bit of divine intervention that as the world was needing to go more remote and become flexible with the way that we worked, we were with Netlogic. And I think back to those days, and honestly, I'm not sure how we would have gone through it without the support that Netlogic provided us, and continues to provide this. I remember phone calls, always, right there to help us and get through that. While obviously Netlogic was also going through that transition that COVID was bringing to us all. So so 5 years.
Wow. And that was a key pivotal moment for everyone, not even just for those that weren't in the technology space. Of course, us in the technology space, we're right there with you, learning and kind of adapting to this new world that became the new normal of the work from home culture, setting up people's equipment to make sure that they could do so and continue doing their job to provide excellent service and keep fueling these nonprofit organizations. So really, really awesome to hear from you. And it seems like, there's probably a multitude of different services that Netlogic provides, including managed IT, but of course, some form of cloud computing as well. So with your previous provider versus now, would you say that there has been a drastic difference in support when it comes to kind of moving into that hybrid environment? Yeah.
100%. I would say overall, Netlogic's ability to support us is just bar none. And we talk to a lot of our nonprofit partners. We talk to a lot of our community foundation partners. And the service that we get from Netlogic is something that I mean this genuinely, you do not find somewhere else. It almost never happens that we can't reach somebody when we need them, that somebody's not there to, support whatever small or large issue is going on, because it does run the gamut. So, I think that when we got with Netlogic as well, we were going onto Microsoft 365. So we did not have that. We had to shift the way we worked. It was the same, but different. And you have a lot of people who are very used to working in one environment, and we had to shift everyone into this different environment. And as the person who was sort of responsible for leading the organization through that, Netlogic was my partner through that. And they had training available to us. They were always there just to work one-on-one with somebody if somebody just needed the specific help. So I definitely remember that transition to sort of the cloud. All of that went very, very well.
Awesome. And now, in addition to getting support through, phone calls and video calls, whatever that may be, what would you say the experience is like when Netlogic steps on site with you guys?
When they're on site, it's our favorite because we actually get to see the people that we talk to all the time.
Right?
So yeah, that is my favorite. I think that one of the things I tell people as a huge benefit to what Netlogic brings is the ability to speak English to those of us who don't speak IT. And there are a lot of providers out there that have a really hard time translating what they know and do so well into layman's terms, and we speak layman's terms. So I think that translation, whether they're here in the office helping us, they're on the phone helping us, they're on our computer helping us, I feel like and I think that's me too, I try to understand what's happening because then I can prevent it from happening again, or I can help someone here on staff myself. So I'm always trying to get to the root of what's happening, and they're always willing to teach me or talk to me about it or provide me a resource on how I can, do that myself. And if I didn't want to, I know I could just say, great, I'm going to call you again when I need to. And they'd be very happy to do it.
Exactly. And you know what? I love that you brought that up about speaking in plain English, layman's terms, because that to me is, that is such a heavy impact, and something that I really put at the forefront of my work too as a director of marketing is making sure that things are digestible no matter who the audience is. And I love hearing that that is being translated over into all aspects of the organization, even during on-site visits when, of course, things can either get tense and they might be dealing with a big technical problem, but it's still resulting in measurable results, delivery, and clear communication, which is really, really awesome to hear. So really thank you for bringing that up.
And staying calm under pressure, especially when you're on site here, everyone's like looking at you to fix something or to solve a problem. And every single person who's ever come, it just has this calm demeanor. So no one seems to fluster them on Netlogic support. So it's awesome.
That's great to hear. Awesome. Now, aside from, the fun stuff, having everybody on site, would you say that there's been real measurable impact, whether it be improvement in security, efficiency, operations, all of the above, especially with someone in your position that is really sitting at the top and watching everything kind of trickle down? Do you feel that things have changed in a positive manner since you've started working with Netlogic?
Absolutely. I'd say it's definitely like a equal proactive and reactive relationship, where reactive, like we're going to help, something's not working or I can't figure this out. They're there to help us, but it's also proactive on Netlogic's part, making sure that we have all the security we need in place, making sure that things that are, I never have to think like, oh, is that update happening? Is that, piece of equipment updated? I don't have to worry about any of that. And I know that that is, the key to success is to make sure that there are no vulnerabilities. And so I always feel that, Netlogic has that covered. And I'd also say that when we're looking at new software or we're trying to think about whether to implement something new, one of my first calls is Netlogic because they'll help us work through that. For instance, right now we're working through changing to voice over IP. This is an area that I feel very in the dark about. It's like, I call it the final frontier here. It's like the last thing I really need to update and modernize. And from the moment I had our phone provider on the phone, I had Netlogic right there next to me. So I could ask my specific questions, and then Netlogic was making sure that they had the technical stuff that I was never going to be able to get to covered. So I always feel very secure that we are in good hands, and they're like our partner. They're in our court. So when these things are happening, I always feel like they have our best interest, and they're a partner in working with other providers, which for me is another huge benefit of Netlogic. I don't have to always go and figure things out on my own. I can bring them along with me and have really good sort of hand-holding and expertise as far as where our next step is with a piece of software or a program.
Absolutely. And that's so wonderful to hear too. I mean, it is tough, especially when you're dealing with such a big transition that's going to be so impactful for so
Mhm.
many people, trying to meet people in
Yes.
the middle when we're talking about having millennials in the workplace, but then also having Gen X in the workplace, even the boomer generation, et cetera. It becomes very difficult when you need to translate everything onto
Mhm.
paper when you're talking about these transitions, needing training. So it is wonderful to be able to have that hand holding, have the training available. And then, of course, the next portion that I really wanted to touch on here was just sort of what makes Netlogic stand out, which I think you've really already touched on. But Megan, is there really any closing remarks or anything else that you would like to add in just about your partnership with Netlogic or really the future forward kind of thinking thing when you wrap up this final frontier and move on to the next big thing?
I think what you just said is like the final friend, the what's coming is also what I'm looking to NetLogic to help me with and our business with is, making sure that we're really thinking about the present. Is my computer working? Is it charging? Is all of those small little things that make us be able to do our jobs well happening? And NetLogic is thinking about the future and what new products are there and what's coming and are we ready for all of that? So, I think I could say it in lots of different ways, but I always just feel like they are a true partner and that they care about who we are, but they also care about what we do and making sure that we can get our jobs done. So I spend so little time truly stressed out about IT. And it used to be an area that would definitely stress me out. So I feel like it has eliminated this giant piece of concern that I definitely used to feel on a daily basis. And now I just make phone calls to people who I consider kind and considerate and friendly and helpful. And it's great.
That's wonderful. My goodness, thank you. That is a glowing review to hear. And then one last thing. So if you were talking to another business that may be considering NetLogic, what would you tell them?
Do it. I have no qualms. I honestly, if I wasn't talking to you, I would be saying the same exact things. This is all true, honest, and real feedback. And I just think that you won't regret it.
Fantastic. Megan, thank you so much for your time. I really look forward to continuing our partnership together. And of course, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and watching today. Stay tuned for more videos like these, and we will see you out there in the cloud. Thank you so much. Bye,
Thanks,
Megan.
Michaela. Bye.